Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight, growing fears about the relationship between the Bahamas and China.
The opposition leader reacts to the Alfred Gray issue. That story straight ahead.
The number of Zika cases have increased. That story is coming up straight ahead.
And find out what caused that island-wide blackout early this morning. Welcome to our news. I'm Kyle Joaquin. Thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight, the fallout over that $2.1 billion proposal for a Chinese Bahamas agri-fisheries venture continues. This as prominent businessman Dionisio de Aguilar fears the country is falling victim to foreign influence. In an interview with our news, de Aguilar called for an end to the secrecy behind the latest debacle, as well as that of Bahamar.
We are a country of 350,000 people. We are a mere 5 or 6 blocks in Beijing. And so it's very, very important that we don't allow ourselves to be taken over indirectly by a foreign power. And that is what I feel is happening here.
De Aguilar's comments come as Agriculture Minister Alfred Gray once again denies that there is a proposal before government for that $2.1 billion Chinese Bahamas agri-fisheries venture. A draft of the proposed initiative is printed in Thursday's Nassau Guardian. On one page, it states that a designated result is the Bahamas government to lease with an option to renew the lease for additional years to all of the 100 participating companies 10,000 acres of crown land located on the island of Andros.
Clearly, we're not being told the entire story of what's going on in the background about this relationship. It's very, very worrying that they would even consider to enter into such an agreement that sells the birthright of Bahamians.
And then there's the assertion of a Bahamar subcontractor that it will take another $1 billion and another year to complete the Bahamar resort. This picture painted by the subcontractor differs greatly from that put forth by the government, which insists that the resort can be opened by the end of March 2017. For de Aguilar, the revelation presented an I told you so moment.
It is now apparent that it's going to take a hell of a long time to finish that project. And at the end of the day, this delay brought about by fighting the bankruptcy, bringing it to the Bahamas, weeding through our court system, fighting back and forth, has brought about, we're now, 18 months into this? And they're saying that gentleman, who obviously has experience at building and repair work and who is intimately involved and knowledgeable about the project, will know it's another 12 months to go.
Well, Free National Movement leader Dr. Hubert Minnis is slamming Agriculture and Marine Resources Minister Alfred Gray for what he called Gray's flip-flopping on the issue of developing a proposed joint venture initiative with China. Jasmine Brown tells us more.
Dr. Minnis says while it's not exactly surprising, it is a cause for concern.
This is a matter that was of grave concern to me some time ago, and I brought it up in Parliament about 6-7 months ago.
On Tuesday, Gray told our News Outside Cabinet that he did in fact give the go-ahead for the discussions. But hours later, he sent out a press release claiming Monday's report in the Nassau Guardian regarding the proposal was, quote, utterly false. When asked if he believed Gray was flip-flopping, Minnis had this to say.
Stories can change however they want. The facts are there.
The project calls for the lease of 10,000 acres of crown land in Andros and would entail the incorporation of 100 companies jointly owned by government and the Chinese. The proposal also calls for government to grant fishing licenses to each of those companies and predicts that within months of commencement of operations, participating companies will realize positive cash flow from the sale of fisheries. Although Gray has denied that there is such a proposal before the government, the opposition leader questioned how the government could even consider the idea.
How can the government enter discussion with the Chinese for 10,000 acres of property, farm, yet there are many Bahamians out there who are starving for land, who have applied for land with their farming project, who applied for land for other services, but they have not been able to receive their land and they've not been dealt with.
Minnis says he believes this latest debacle is a clear indication that the Christie administration does not have the Bahamian people's best interest at heart.
There's a trust issue with this government.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Thanks, Jasmine. Well, in other news, the Ministry of Health is focusing on 3 new confirmed cases of the Zika virus in pregnant women living in the capital, bringing the total confirmed cases in the country up to 18. Georgia Stewart reports.
Ministry of Health officials have confirmed that Zika cases have grown slowly post-Hurricane Matthew. According to officials, the number of cases has grown to 18, including 3 pregnant women. The 18 cases do not include any transmitted sexually. Ministry of Health consultant Dr. Percival McNeil said the estimated cost to take care of a pregnant woman with Zika is about $1 million, especially if the child has microcephaly.
In the United States and places where it's common to do that, they estimate the cost is going to be like $1 million or more per case, because in addition to the care of the mother, you have to follow the kid up, and if the kid has developmental problems, it has the potential to be much more.
Now, while none of the cases are life-threatening, according to Dr. McNeil, he said they are watching a side effect of the disease that could present complications, especially in the elderly.
There is a condition called Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is a weakness of the nerves that supply the signal to the muscles that comes on, and it's seen particularly in older people, some 2 weeks or so, usually after an episode of Zika. And it's what they call an ascending paralysis, starts in the feet and works its way up.
And while flooding caused by Hurricane Matthew caused a major concern for health officials, Dr. McMillan says the hurricane may have actually done some good in getting rid of mosquitoes carrying the disease.
There has also been a decrease in the number of reported clinical cases of Zika. We interpret this with caution, however, because even though the adult mosquitoes would have been destroyed during the hurricane, Zika can be transmitted sexually for up to 6 months post-acute illness.
Officials are still warning all sexually active residents to practice safe sex, especially those planning pregnancies. Reporting for our news, I'm Georgia Stirrup.
Thanks, Giorgio. Well, 99 police recruits, including 28 women, today graduated to the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Hundreds of family and friends looked on as the recruits from the A, B, and Canada squads joined the ranks of the RBPF. First National Commanded Training, Chief Superintendent Paul Roll welcomed the class of 2016, noting that they endured 6 months of sacrifice, discipline, and self-determination to blossom into the men and women who will join the force to help fight crime and make the Bahamas a safer place to live, work, visit, and play. He told family and friends that they will not be disappointed. Our News will bring you more from the graduation ceremony in a later newscast. Still to come on Our News.
The NCTUB president responds to those concerned Ocean Club employees. That story straight ahead.
And a call for better maintenance on Grand Bahama. Stay tuned.